Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassell and welcome to Week in Review. This is actually the only video going up today because we're at PAX Unplugged, but we'll be back tomorrow, so all our videos and stuff are going to go up tomorrow. So if you're looking for everything else, that's where it is. But we're talking about last week, and even though we were at PAX, we did quite a few videos while we were gone, and we're going to talk about them here in this video. We're going to give you short descriptions of our videos, and then if you sit there and go, oh my word, I'd like to watch the full video, which you should also like and subscribe. But anyway, if you want to watch a full video, click the link in the description below. Let's get started.
Hey everybody, I'm Z Garcia. Here's what I did this week. I reviewed Dog Park, which I gave a 6 out of 10. I thought it was an interesting game. I think it's going to be a lovely game for people who are maybe new to gaming and who love this theme. It is a love letter to dogs, dog walking, all of that, the different breeds. I think the game mechanically does feel a little bit like a hodgepodge of mechanisms. And every single one of them, or most of them, I can look at and go, oh, that's neat. It reminds me of this other game that did it better. So unfortunately, I think it's going to suffer from those comparisons. I found the game to have a couple of mathematical aspects that didn't really work for me. Too many kinds of breeds for a majority type game. Oh, I have one of this kind of dog. I have the most. One shouldn't give you the most. That didn't jive with me. But I thought the game and the look of it for a very specific crowd is going to just absolutely bowl them over. I reviewed Trails of Tucana Ferry expansion. This one is I rated a 6 out of 10, and it is a new pad, which is going to give you 2 alternate maps. That's nice. I like that idea. I thought the new things that they implemented into this map could have been a little more bombastic, a little more interesting, a little more revolutionary. The things that are there are fine. They are a little by the numbers. Just didn't feel like, hey, we came up with some new ideas, put them on the map, and check this out. It takes the game you know and love and turns it on its head. No, it takes the game I personally know and love and gives me a slightly alternate map. It also comes with another pad of the original maps that were included in the box, so that's a nice touch. If you just need a refill pack with a little tiny twist, I would recommend it. If you were looking for something new, this really ain't it. And then lastly, I reviewed Tribes of the Wind, which I gave a 7.5 to. I think it is a beautiful game with a great theme that doesn't really come through. Some incredibly tactical play, which I really do like the tactical play, but it is dependent on your neighbors, and it sounds more clever than it ends up being. I could roll a die almost for this side and say, okay, you have this combination of colors, you have this combination of colors, I can play this card or I cannot play this one. There's some manipulation in there. It's by no means a bad game. I enjoyed my plays of it. I think I was just expecting a spectacular game. I merely got a good one that perhaps has some replayability concerns and, again, highly tactical play. So not a lot of planning that you can really do in this one. And that's it for me. I will see you on the next one.
Hey everyone, Chris here. This week I took a look at 3 games, the first of which was Challengers, which I gave a 7. This is a game that is, how do you even describe this? This is ridiculousness in a box. The artwork and the cover will tell you enough to know whether you think that this is a serious game. It's not. You're basically playing War, the card flipping game, but you get to put some cards in there, and that's the only choice you get to make each turn, and then it plays itself. And if you're in the mood for something silly and raucous, then you could give it a 7. That's why I give it a 7. Next up is Feed the Kraken, a social deduction game that I gave an 8. I don't like a lot of social deduction games. They're fun, but I get tired of them very quickly. So for this one to get an 8 is a lot of praise from me. I really like it. The whole production of it is gorgeous. We looked at the deluxe edition, of course, but the regular edition is still going to have great artwork, a lot of good, thoughtful components and stuff. And the game design is very thoughtful, very engaging. I really like it. I think if you enjoy social deduction games, this could be a home run for you. And if you don't love them that much, this could be a more fun one to play if you ever kind of get into one of those. And then lastly, the Two Heirs. I also gave an 8. This is a game that the box cover amused me, but this is a great head-to-head 2-player only tile placement game, or solo, and it works solo. But it's a little tile placement game with a rondelle. It has some very good decision-making going on, where you have resources, and the way that you pay those resources for buildings is very clever. I really like so much about this game. I think it's a game that not a lot of people would be on their radar, so make sure to check it out. The Two Heirs, and that's been my week.
Hey guys, this week I took a look at Dog Park, which I gave an 8.5. I think that this game has a great theme, walking your dogs, trying to gain reputation and be the best dog walker in the neighborhood. And that came first, but behind that, there's some great mechanisms to back it up. Putting your reputation at stake to get the right kind of dogs, trying to maximize your scoring or your reputation based on the forecast and kind of what's coming up each round. I really think that this is a great blend of mechanisms with the theme as well. I think this game knew what it was going for. It wanted to be kind of that family weight. It's absolutely gorgeous to look at, and it just kind of checked all those boxes. So for me, Dog Park was an 8.5. That's it for me, so let's see what's else.
Hi, I'm Wendy Yee, and this week I reviewed Feed the Kraken. I am not a social deduction player, so this surprised me. I almost didn't play, but I gave it a 7. I felt like there was a lot of good choices in the design that made it so that it was a fun game, where there was a lot of push and pull between the factions of being the pirates or being the good guys or being the cultist and wanting to, be the cultist leader that jumps off to his death. There's some cool stuff going on there, so I enjoyed it and I would recommend it.
All right, it's time to review the week. First off, I have Fall of the Mountain King. This is a crazy area control game with an interesting action selection thing where you draft these cards and put them out and try to match the icons together to be able to take your actions. Lots of gnome combat, but yeah, this is a 7.5 for me. Pretty fun area control game, but there's a lot of convoluted stuff. Check out the review for that. Then also Challengers. Let's talk about Challengers. There's no real meaningful decisions. It's basically war. I think this game is terrible. I gave it a 2. I hate this game, basically. I never want to play it again. I don't think it's very much fun. It's just all automated, but feels like a car crash. It's just boring and not very much fun. Anyway, check out the review for that as well. But don't check out the game, even though Tom might say it's great. But yeah, that's my week in review.
Hey there, everybody. It's Mike DeLisio, and this week I reviewed 2 games. First off is Fall of the Mountain King, which I rated a 7.5 out of 10. This is a game that honestly may go up as time goes on. It has some really cool elements to it. I love the ancestry system, which is basically an action selection process where you are placing cards in front of you. It's going to progressively get larger as the game goes on. That allows you to select the different actions that you're then using to do some area control and some gaining some special powers through cards. A really clever system. There's a couple of elements of it that kept it down a little bit for me. Maybe a little bit of confusion about how an NPC characters that you have to fight come on the board, but a pretty solid game overall. And then finally, I reviewed Tribes of the Wind, which I gave a 9 out of 10. Oh my goodness, did I love this game. Do I love this game. It is essentially a card game, although every player has their own personal board as well. And what you're doing is you are playing cards from your hand that you're using not only the cards that you have, but the cards that your neighbors to your left and right have as well, the backs of their cards, to get particular actions. And so you might play a card that's going to give you a particular action if you and your neighbors have 3 water. And it's a decent action, but it's a much better action if you and your neighbors have 5 or more water cards. And so I really like that core mechanism. I like the board play where you are placing tiles on your board, and it's a bit of a race. The game is a race to building 5 villages. A stunning looking game, plays very quickly, has a lot of tension throughout, and so I just adored Tribes of the Wind. All right, well, that's it for me this week. Let's keep it moving.
All right, this week I reviewed Shoot the Stars, a party game which I thought I would really like. It's like a mix of wits and wagers and liar's dice, and unfortunately the bad components and bad questions bring it down to a 5. Deblockle, kind of a game where you're rotating blocks around a board trying to make them land on a star. It's okay. Nice components, but it's just a little too thinky for how light the game is. 6 out of 10. Cake Bake Challenge looks like trash, but for kids it's really fun, as you're stacking these layers of a cake as fast as you can in an order. And they sure make me think of the cake that's in the cake machines at Las Vegas, and anyway, I'm getting off topic. 7 out of 10 for kids. Cradle to Grave. This is another game I didn't expect to like. I give this a 7 too. It's essentially an Uno-esque game as you make other people older. You want them to die before you do, which sounds really dark. It's not a dark game. It's a silly, fun game that I enjoyed a lot. Tribes of the Wind. I reviewed this one with Z and Mike. And this one, I liked it. I wanted to like it more. It's fun. It's a 7 for me. But I felt like it's just very, very tactical. And I wanted some more strategy and stuff, but man, beautiful game, fun. It's fun despite the lack of long-term strategy and making different decisions. Dog Park, I gave this one an 8, which partially is because I like dogs so much, but it's also a very solid game. A light family game about walking dogs, collecting dogs of different types. Some interesting choices, I enjoyed it. Challengers, I'm sure you've seen that not everyone here likes Challengers, but I thought it was silly fun. It is basically war with special powers. 8 out of 10. ISS Vanguard, this is the biggest game I reviewed this week. Gigantic Awakened Realms game, in which is you're flying a spaceship, and or it's a big spaceship, and you're the captain and the crew, and there's all kinds of stuff. You're landing on planets. It is like a movie, like 20 movies put together, but it's very, very fun. 8 out of 10. Fall of the Mountain King, I really enjoyed this one. 8.5. This is, you're building a little display in front of you when drafting, then using the different actions on that display to control areas on the board. Really cool. Me and the kids took a look at Exit the Advent Calendar to search for the Golden Book at 8.5. This is amazing. This is my favorite way to play Exit now. 24 puzzles, one a day. Very, very fun and cool. I also took a look at some really expensive but very nice planets for Star Wars Rebellion that you can order off Etsy. I did a Kickstarter look back where I went back in time and looked at some Kickstarters that I backed back in the day. We did the semifinals for Disney's Sorcerer's Arena. And then we did all our normal shows. Crowd surfing. Can't remember the names of my own show. Board Game Breakfast, Board Game Smorgasbord. And so lots of different things for you to go back and check up on. All right. Well, 1 week from today, the Winter Spectacular starts. So we'll see you not then, but tomorrow, because tomorrow, Board Game Breakfast and more. We'll see you then.